to Brewing Success, where growth is the mission, change is the reward, and progress is the goal. I am your host, Andrea Gebhardt. I'm a former educator turned passionate entrepreneur whose desire to create impact has never wavered. I've spent the last decade teaching, mentoring, and coaching people on how to create success in their lives and businesses with proven strategies and systems that not only bring about change, but big results. When it comes down to it, teaching is my specialty, leadership is my jam, and inspiring you to live a bigger, fuller life is what I'm all about. This podcast will give you the knowledge and tools you need to brew success in almost any area of your life. You're going to walk away each week feeling inspired, motivated, and ready to step outside your comfort zone and into the next level of who you're meant to be. Now let's get into today's episode. So I want to start off today's episode by just saying Happy New Year. And if you're like, wait a minute, why is your voice a little raspy? That's because in the middle of last week, out of nowhere, my voice was normal and then a little scratchy and then like completely gone for 3 days. I feel totally fine. I'm 100% well. It just disappeared. And so I think that the reason that happened is I was being called and directed to stop talking and really listen more and lean into that ability to just kind of listen. And it's really interesting because I found myself having to whisper to communicate things. I busted out my old lifeguard whistle to get my kids' attention because it's definitely not fun having your kids home for Christmas break. You can't talk. They're all over the place and you're trying to communicate and get things done. But here we are and my voice is finally back. So here I am in the studio joining you for our first episode of 2024. And I am just so excited. I'm definitely experiencing this renewed sense of energy as I step into this year. I feel like I have a lot more clarity. I hope that you do too. I hope that you're experiencing that, a renewed sense of energy and clarity on what it is that you want to do, want to accomplish, who it is you want to become, that next evolution, if you will, of yourself and your journey. This is going to be a transformational year for so many different people. I can feel it. I've had lots of conversations with people about that. The weight of 2023 has lifted and we are locked and loaded on our growth. We are locked and loaded on the steps that we need to take to ensure that we are in alignment with our purpose and our calling and that we're showing up as our best selves every single day so that we can inspire and impact those around us. So it's a new year. We have an opportunity for a fresh perspective. And I want to make sure, that you start 2024 off right. I want to be that friend. I want to be that confidant for you. I want to be that mentor. I want to be that guide to just kind of sit with you and have this conversation about the perspective we need to hold and carry moving into this year. Here we are. Here we are. Another year has gone and another year is beginning. And there's always an interesting energy that the new year brings. It makes us want to tidy up our homes, declutter, start a new exercise routine, eat differently, show up differently. And although those are all good things to think about and do, none of it happens or carries benefit or even carries on beyond January unless we are super intentional about the changes we want to make in our lives. And in order to make intentional change, we must first reflect upon the previous year. We have to ask ourselves what went well, what didn't. What made me happiest? When did I feel the most frustration? What was my biggest challenge? What did I learn from it? In what ways have I grown? What lessons have I learned from the previous year? And what lessons from the previous year are you going to bring into this year to ensure you don't make the same mistakes? What other things do you want to start in the new year to continue on your journey of growth? This level, I'm telling you right now, this level of reflection allows you to pack up that year and all of your experiences, wrap it up in bubble wrap made of gratitude. Because if it weren't for the good and the bad, let's just always remember that we wouldn't be who we are in this moment. All of those experiences shaped you and prepared you for where you are right now. The person who is ready to begin this best year with a mindset of better. With that being said, please Pretty please, do not fall for the new year, new you hype. When the clock strikes midnight, you're not automatically awarded some better version of yourself. You have to be intentional about achieving it. And whether you like it or not, your same old self wakes up on January 1st, and then major life-altering decisions are made upon getting out of bed. And that decision is based upon the question, do I continue to show up the same way I did last year, or do I begin today with better thoughts, with better beliefs, and most importantly, better actions? The decisions we make will always drive us toward success or detriment, which is why we must choose wisely. And, I know that there's a lot of people who have a lot of different philosophies. Some people wake up January 1st, that's the kickoff, that's their launch point, that's, when everything changes. And for other people, it's, once your kids go back to school after winter break and you have a more sense of normalcy and routine back in your life. And I want to just say that there's no right or wrong way to do it. The point is that you take the time to reflect on your previous year, decide what it is that you want to accomplish, who you want to become, and then be intentional every single day to do those things and to become that person. Every single day, we have to wake up with that intention, with that mindset, and make sure that our decisions align with the things we want to accomplish and the person we want to become. So here's the thing. We can all look back and think about different areas and aspects of our lives that we are proud of. For so many people, it was just getting through one of the most challenging years of their lives. For others, big wins and major milestones were achieved. Either way, we can all agree that looking for where we can do better is not only a great place to start, but it's going to create a track for us to run on. It's going to put guardrails, also known as boundaries, on the road, and it's going to provide the necessary filter for action that is required to get clear, focused, and motivated. So let's first talk about choosing a word. This is a great way for you to set intentions around what you want your year to be about. And if you're a big person who's like, I want to choose a word of the year and I want to know how that works, I'm going to encourage you to go back to my New Year episode last year and listen to my thoughts and my philosophy and ideas around a word of the year, the limiting aspect of it, the unlimiting aspect of it, and how to really make that meaningful and impactful for you. Having a word of the year is an extremely personal choice, and the word you choose is up to you. But oftentimes people choose a word, maybe write it down somewhere, maybe tell a few friends about it or post about it on social media, and then that's it. For what it is worth, make sure that you do more than just choose a word. Allow that word, instead of just being a word, allow it to be your guiding light. Allow that word to drive the decisions you make. Allow that word to serve as a filter in your life so you know what to pour into and what to eliminate. When you decide to give meaning and life to that word will give life and meaning to your year. On that note, new year, not a new you, a better you, because you're already pretty amazing. I mean, let's have a real conversation here. You're smarter, stronger, and more resilient than you have ever been. You have unique insights, perspectives, and knowledge because of your experiences, and you're an endless source of value to those around you. You don't need to become a new you. We just need to become better versions of ourselves, not newer versions of ourselves. The idea of new is so old and it's so archaic and it's so limiting and it's also so self-defeating because you don't see the new happen and it takes a while for that to get there, and then you give up and you fall back into old patterns and repeated mindsets, and you wake up next year and you're like, gosh, I really didn't move the needle. I didn't get any further. In fact, I went backwards. And how is this my life and how does it keep happening? And it's because we're focused on the wrong things. Let's focus on just becoming a little bit better every single day. So with that being said, jot down what you want to accomplish this year and just work to make better choices in those areas. I remember back in 2017 when I was like, okay, no more excuses. I need to start working out. Literally, I told myself that I was too busy. I didn't have time. And that was largely in part to like my travel schedule. But I also at the same time know and teach and talk about all the time. You always have time. You always have time for the things that are important to you. You will always make time for the things that matter. And there was a shift that needed to take place. There was something that needed to change for me. I said, no more excuses. I need to start working out. I want to be strong. I want to have endurance. I want to have stamina. I want to, I know I can't like fight aging, and I'm not the kind of person that desires to. I think getting older is really cool and such a blessing, but I also want to age well. I want to be healthy. I want to be strong. I want to be capable. I want the energy to play soccer with my future grandkids. I want to have the energy to keep up with, my dreams and my goals. And if I don't work out and I don't take care of me, like, how is that even going to happen? So I got a gym membership. And I remember my commitment initially for that first month was, I'm just going to go 1 day a week. I have time. I could give up 1 hour a week to go work out and work on me. And I did that successfully for a full month. And then the next month, I increased that to 2 days a week. The month after that, I started going 3 days a week. And what was really interesting is that once I got it going and it became a part of my routine, I couldn't believe that I actually had the time to go. I mean, I'd been telling myself for years that I didn't have time. I felt guilty about taking time away from my kids to focus on me. But I realized that if I didn't do that for me, I was failing to contribute to my overall well-being. The whole year of 2017 was just about going, making a routine, and getting better and stronger in the classes I was taking. And the benefits were like 10 times greater than the effort it took to go. I slept better. I had more energy. I felt more accomplished. I was a better mom, and I was better at my work. So that whole year was just about going and getting in the routine. It wasn't about muscles. It wasn't about miles. It wasn't about skill and ability. It was about just going and getting into that routine. That was my emphasis of better that year. The year after that, I made the decision to start going 5 days a week and add weightlifting components to my workout. So I did, and I got stronger. I got stronger physically, emotionally, mentally. That year, I ran a half marathon with no training, by the way, mostly out of just support for a friend. And that year, I finally started seeing the physical transformation of the effort I had been putting in. And, I documented, like, every day I went to the gym, every day I took a class, I set my camera up, I took pictures, I took videos, I posted about it, I talked about my journey. I brought my journey to the world because, it was so important for me to just share that, hey, if a busy single mom, entrepreneur, full-time in her work and what she does, very demanding schedule, if I can find the time, you can find the time. And if you see me focusing on my well-being as a mom, maybe that'll inspire you to do the same. And I remember being like, how do you have time? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what? I used to think I didn't have time either. I used to use that as an excuse, but I have time to go. And if I can't carve out time for me and my own health and my own wellness, is there something seriously wrong with my life and I got to get things together, right? So it's just been really incredible. And now working out is a part of who I am. It's what I do. It's something I love doing, and it's something I get to have just for me. Not to mention, I love role modeling the importance of health and wellness for my kids. I love that my girls see me lift weights and notice my strength when I'm unloading, 20 grocery bags with like Schwarzenegger style strength from the trunk of the car. I love that my boys see me prioritizing that in myself and understanding that as a component of being a healthy, whole individual. And, I remember when my focus was to become a better leader. To get better, you got to do better. So instead of just leaning on my talents, skills, and abilities, I decided to become a student of leadership that year. I listened to 3 leadership podcasts a week, took notes, and applied what I learned. I began reading more leadership books and studying great people like John Maxwell and Simon Sinek and John Gordon and Brene Brown and so many others. And I knew that if I wanted to become a better leader, then I was going to have to get better at learning how and then putting those things into action. The goal isn't about being the best. The goal should just be about being better. And if you want to be better at anything, it just takes making micro adjustments, being consistent with those adjustments on a daily basis, and disciplined enough in those adjustments to stick with it long enough to start to see the fruit of that labor. Instead of focusing on a resolution of losing weight, simply focus on eating better and the weight loss will happen. Instead of focusing on a resolution to make more money, focus on the sales/income target daily and get better at what you need to do, the actions you need to take to make that happen. Better often means more consistent. Better often means more disciplined. Better often means hyper-focused. Better often means more action. Better is bigger. Better is easier to do. Better guarantees incremental success. Better is self-fulfilling. And better moves the needle. So if you just think about what you want to accomplish, and what goal you're, ultimately working toward, take a hard look at yourself and your habits and ask, where can I be better? How can I be better? What better actions can I put into place? When you do that, you reveal the real path towards success in any area of your life, and you relinquish this whole notion that you carry of comparison, because the only person that you're comparing yourself to is a person that you were yesterday. The only person that you're in competition with is the person you decided to show up as the day before. So if you wake up every single day and look at your day from before, what went great? Where could I be better? Just be a little bit better today. I could have, for me yesterday, where could I have been better when it comes to my health? I could have drank more water. I don't even know if I had a glass of water yesterday. That's terrible. But it happened. I had a lot of coffee, but I didn't have any water. And I felt that today when I woke up this morning with a headache. So it's, recognizing today I've got my big old tall, water cup, and my goal today is to do better. I'm going to drink 6 of those today. That's my goal. I'm on number 2, proud of myself. That's where I'm focusing on being better. And because I'm focusing on being better and not trying to do some overhaul and not guilting or shaming myself for what I didn't do my best yesterday, I'm in it today and I'm here for it today. And all that is guaranteed is the day that you have. And all that is guaranteed is, the effort that you decide to put in. And I love the idea of being better, because it's going to mean something different to every single person, but mean no less. It's so incredibly empowering and powerful when you decide to show up and be the best version of yourself that you can. And you do that by making better choices, those micro adjustments that I talked about. Understand that growth shouldn't have to be complicated. Success, it doesn't have to be complex. Progress doesn't have to be difficult. The biggest thing that stands between you, who you currently are and who you want to be, is the decisions you make every single day. When our decisions are centered around the concept of better, we get better. And guess what? Everything around you gets better too. Before for you, tell me about who you're becoming. Tell me about the progress you are making. Why? So we can celebrate that together. So just remember, when you do better, you are doing your best. And that is all you can really do anyway, your best. Become better, and eventually you'll become your best. And that is the reward. You guys, thank you so much for joining me here on the Brewing Success Podcast, where growth is the mission, progress is the goal, and change is the reward.